You know what you are, dude? You're unfiltered. And everybody wants to be unfiltered, but nobody wants unfiltered.
Yeah.
It's not nobody wants unfiltered, but there's a lot of people that don't want unfiltered, and they want you to think that nobody wants unfiltered.
Yeah.
Like, you're not saying anything that I wouldn't expect you to say if we were alone and the microphones were off.
Right.
If you and I were hanging out at the Comedy Store, we'd have the same conversation. I'd be laughing the exact same way.
Actually, we wouldn't, because there'd be a bunch of other comedians ear hustling. And I wouldn't talk.
You don't trust them, but you'll tell it online.
Well, you know what it is? It's not, I'm more, like, it seems, even though obviously it's way more people listening and watching, but it's more about the visual of other people. Like, you know, you having a conversation with somebody, but you feel other people that's not part of the conversation looking. Well, that feels more unnatural to me than doing this. You know what I'm saying? I
agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
And it probably doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all.
That's why it's like, I think like it's not their fault if someone's hanging around us. There's been situations like that before where someone is like weaseled into a conversation between me or you or me. Like, it was me and Diaz and some other dude the other night. And this guy came up to us and just sandwiched his way into a conversation in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm like, how'd you get back here? Like, why? Well, come on, man. Like, but part of me thinks like, if I was that guy, how would I do it?
Right.
Like, what do you do if you walk up? You know, you're at the Comedy Store. You're supposed to go left to take a leak, and you go right, and you're into the kitchen. And Joey Diaz is talking to Ari Shaffir and Hannibal, and you guys are all hanging out. And hilarious fucking stories are being told.
Right.
And you just want to stand there and stare.
Yeah, you want to listen to it.
I would do it right now. I would do it right now. If those guys hated me, if for some reason those guys wouldn't be my friends anymore, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I did, but damn, I got to find a hole in this vent so I could listen in on them talk.
Dude, and one of the weirdest interactions I had with a fan, which I have a lot because I go out a lot and go drinking, and so I'm super exposed all the time. But I was in Chattanooga last year. We played this venue, and we go out afterwards. Me, my two, Al Jackson, my boy Marcus, a couple girls we met, and we go to this bar. Nice bar. Not that many people there, maybe 12, 15 people in the whole bar. And it's big. It's pool tables over on this side. Bar is here. They had these wings. They had these smoked wings that I was eating. Maybe the best wings I've had.
Ever?
Top 5.
Ever?
Easily. Like, I'm crushing them. It was a spiritual experience.
What's so good about them?
They just were well made. They were grilled. They were cooked well. I wish I remember the name of this, but the wings were so good.
Grilled.
I'm just killing these wings.
Marinated?
And just in the zone. Maybe marinated. They had good sauce.
Hot? You like spicy?
I do like spicy. I don't remember but I'm destroying these wings. Like, I'm in the zone. Like, it's like, I'm like, if it was NBA Jam, I was on fire. And then this dude comes up, man. Hey, I was at the show. Can I take a picture with you? I said, yeah, man. Just I'm eating wings, right? I'm eating right now. Let's give me a few minutes. I'm happy to take a picture. He's like, come on, man. Let me take a picture. I was at the show. Man, I'm eating right now. Let me just finish eating. And he said, would you rather me take a wing or take a picture? And I said, I'd rather you get the fuck out of my face right now. I told you. Because it wasn't a crowded bar. It wasn't like a meet and greet.
Right.
I told him I was happy to take a picture with him afterwards. Just let me finish. I had sauce all over my hands and shit. It's like, give it a few minutes.
Reasonable.
Give me a few minutes. He acts cool. He acts cool and reasonable about it and shit. But you know, little did I know he's stewing a bunch about it. So on the other side of the bar, it's another bigger space where the bathroom is. So I go to the bathroom and I step out. Coincidentally, who's at the bathroom?
Oh,
this dude.
no.
I walk. He don't say nothing. I walk past him, and then it's a long space. It's before you get to the entrance to the bar again. And I get there. He's standing by the bathroom door. He yells, "Thought you were cool, Hannibal. Thought you were cool. You act like an asshole. I paid $25 for your show. You acting like you're Dave Chappelle or some shit. And
Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart. In how many days span between stories?
It's a lot. They're far apart from each other, but it's a go-to when people want to try to dish you.
Yeah.
They try to bring up a bigger comedian.
Dave, I'd be pissed right now.
You think you're Dave.
How come the whole story is me, motherfucker?
Right. Basically, he said, hey, if Dave Chappelle was mean to me, when I kept bothering him while he was eating, I'd get it. But you have to give me your time.
That's hilarious.
You think you Dave Chappelle? And I was like, fuck you. You paid for a show. You didn't pay for a fucking meet and greet. I told you I'd take the fucking picture with you after I was done eating, and you kept pressing me. And so he bitched about the $25 or whatever. Now I'm like sitting, stewing, man, I'm at the bar like, this motherfucker, I told him I'd take a picture with this bar and even crowded. It would have been easy to take a picture with him if he just fucking relaxed. And then I fucking take $25 out of my pocket. I ball it up. He's over at the pool table. I walk up and I throw it at him. Like, take your money back if that's what you wanted. And then he throws it back at me, and I ball it up, hit him in the face with it.
Oh my goodness!
And then they were ready to fight, and I was ready to fight the dude. But then if I
was there while this was all going on, I'd be like, "Where's the exit? Okay, who's wearing clothes where I can't tell if they have a gun?"
And then his
friend,
friend
is going on.
Then his friend, I was ready to punch dude actually, and then his friend pulled out a camera phone, like, "Oh, your publicist is gonna love this," and I'm like, "I guess we're not fighting then."
Wow, you're ready to fight.
I was ready to fight.
$25?
It wasn't about the $25. It was about...
It's about the words?
About the just talking shit and just acting like I wasn't... I was being totally chill and saying, hey, let me finish eating, fucking wipe my hands. I'm happy to take a picture with you. And he kept pressing me, and then he popped off afterwards after I thought we settled it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. From someone who's been interrupted while you're eating, it is annoying. But I've always tried to figure out, like, well, okay, what's the difference between how weird it is for me to be eating for someone to come up to me than
I've
it is for
gotten better
them.
at that too.
Yeah.
Over time, where I put myself
it's weird
in the spot, and I'm nice, and I remember what it is to them for them to ask for that.
Yeah, listen, man, I got a man crush on Anthony Bourdain, and every time I hang around with him, I feel goofy. This is just a fact.
Yeah.
I just like him. I think I like the way he thinks. I like his balls. The guy takes up jiu-jitsu when he's 58 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I think in certain situations, you have to understand that, like, the way you feel around someone is affected by your respect for them, and sometimes it gets weird.
Right.
You know, like if a dude comes up to you and is like, hey, Hannibal, think I got a picture? And you're like, I'm eating right now, man. Relax. And like, they don't even know what the fuck they're saying. You know, like if I'm a Hannibal fan and I walk up and you got a mouthful of wings, I'm just real quick, let's just take this picture. I'll get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I can't believe I took this chance.
But I was like, I told him, yeah. I mean, but I get that side of it, and that's why I wish I didn't react like that, and I wish I kept it chill, and which I do more often now, but it's just, I don't know.
Well, that's a good, what you just said is beautiful. I do more often now. So you're thinking about it.
I think about, I'm aware of it when people come up to me and just, and I just remember what it is that it is a privilege that they, support my work and try to just give them that moment versus, but it's even still sometimes motherfuckers are genuinely rude.
Yep.
And sometimes people can be entitled, and sometimes people don't care if you're talking to 3 women. They will.
That's true.
They will bust that shit up.
You're right. I mean, it's one of the things about life. You never know who you're going to run into. You can run into someone that's just goofy.
Yeah, but it's just an interesting lens, man.
It's an interesting lens, not just for you, but also for me to look through what you're talking about, but for other people too as well. I think we're all doing this weird thing, man. We're all just surviving in this strange life that's temporary. If we're lucky, we get 100 years. If you're lucky, but the last few years...
Lucky. That's super
lucky. For the last few years, you're just hanging on.
Yeah.
Just hanging on, just waiting to get weary enough so you let go and slip into the abyss.
Yeah. I try to keep the perspective, especially in this business where like this is a limited moment. This is a limited time.
But it's not. It's not. I hate when people like you say that.
What? I think I was talking about this last time.
You're funny as fuck, dude. You're not going anywhere. I hate when someone who's fucking... You know what pisses me off? Jim Norton, if you listen to me, you cunt. Stop telling me. Stop telling me you're worried about the future. Stop it. You're fucking awesome. I hate when awesome people don't know they're awesome. You know? Relax, bitch.
But even...
Jim Norton, you're fucking amazing. It's hilarious. You don't have a goddamn thing to worry about. There's going to be people going to see Jim Norton for the end of time, and I'm one of them. And I feel the same way about you.
I don't know. I mean, I think 7 more years.
Hotels. Got hotels on the brain.
7 more years. Stocks. You know what? You do stocks at all? A little bit?
I do really intelligent Jewish gentlemen who handle your money, so because you're too fucking stupid to do it. That's what I do. I big fan of the Jews.
They had put some those people, the money people. They had put a lot of my money in mutual funds. Then I looked up what a mutual fund is, with other people buying stocks for, and I don't like that. But cash out my mutual funds, and I want to pick my own stocks.
Well, if you're really into owning hotels and picking stocks, I understand. Me, I'm not into that.
You know what company I like? Is this company called Catapult Sports. They do wearable GPS technology.
Ooh.
The Golden State Warriors use them. Some other pro teams use them.
Like, what are you wearing? Like a vest or something?
It's like for practice and different training. They track athletes' performance.
Whoa! So they track. How crazy is that? They're tracking people from a satellite. How fast they're moving?
Just different. I mean, I can't get into the super specifics of it. Mark Cuban invested in them 2014. I found them on accident when I was looking up some pharmaceutical company called Catalyst, and for some reason my brain put Catapult. Then I found this company, started looking it up.
You found them by accident.
And I found them on accident, started looking it up, and I invested in them kind of heavily.
That's a very good move. Dude, you want to be my manager?
And so
that is a really you got super fortunate. That's like a crazy typo.
But yeah, it was recent. It's about 2 months ago. And anytime I call my stock guy, I keep upping my position in him, and I'll call him and say, "Hey, give me 25,000 more on Catapult." Damn. And then he was like, "Hannibal, let's give me a call real quick."
Oh, you can't just text him.
No, he just like wants to talk me through it. Like, you sure you got a lot in Catapult already?
Listen,
you sure you want to do Catapult?
One individual type.
What about that other stock I told you about? You sure that stock is doing way better now? I'm like, hey, let's just do. I like Catapult, man.
Dude, you just blew Catapult the fuck up. I like what you just did.
I think it's a solid. I mean, but I wouldn't. I've told friends about it. They like it too. It's still early in the company, and they got offices in the States too. They based in Australia, and I think.
If I don't know what the fuck it is, explain it to me. What does it mean?
Wearable GPS technology.
Now, if I'm an idiot and I'm hearing that, I'm going, okay, so you're using a satellite to track the movement of people on Earth.
They're tracking the performance,
like heart rate. Workload, steps.
Speed.
It's all done through like what, an ankle bracelet? Like what do you put on them?
I think that chest.
How do you know what the exertion is? Is it a vest?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a vest. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a little picture of it right
that
here.
This guy. Oh, that's what you were showing me earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, that's different. Okay, that makes sense. This dude just got like a chest harness, which I'm sure could measure, I don't know, like energy? What would it measure? How does something on your chest measure what you're doing with your legs? Like, how do those iPhone apps measure your strides and how many steps you take in miles?
They can do it off of like, it's not easy math, but they can tell how far, like if you're 6 foot, they know how long like the
you enter your height
like
and
the whatever it's called, the little
interesting
cyclometer. Not thinking of the right word,
but so it's not necessarily tracking you through GPS.
This one might be. I don't know.
This one is right. Isn't that the premise behind this one?
I mean, do you know how they do it in the UFC where they're tracking how many feet they're running around the octagon?
Dude, that's a good question. They don't have a GPS shit on them. Yeah. They're probably following them with like a tracer. Yeah. Maybe a dude, it's his job to follow each person. And with, I mean, I would do that. But you know what, man? That statistic is interesting. And I support the chasing of the data, try to figure out how much someone moves. But it's not that important. It's not that important. Yeah. It's weird. It's getting super specific because it doesn't necessarily. It's a statistic. It's interesting. Just shouldn't dwell on it. So these dudes that are playing soccer, they monitor all that too, like how much each team runs and all that shit.
Yeah, like in football, they just like recently over the last couple of years stopped hitting in practice. Not more because they found out about concussions and whatnot, but it's also added technology. And like when I was at Cowboys training camp last week, there was a guy telling me they brought in 8K cameras for when Tony Romo was hurt, so he could sit in a truck in the back of practice and watch real-time football practice with a headset on, like VR stuff.
Oh wow!
Oh, shit!
And
so he could see the real
he could see everything that was going on.
And how,
that's
and still
insane.
give advice on what was going on. He was hurt for the last 8 weeks or whatever the year, and they don't have it all the time because it's really expensive to run right now still. But they still had 360 cameras running around following the players. Lots of crazy stuff. Just
shout out to the dude from the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Charles, that drives the Hall of Fame
Charles.
truck.
He hooked it up.
Yeah,
he gave me a card to give to Jamie. He's like, I know Jamie's a football fan. Let's make it happen. Gridiron.
They're doing that for the UFC too. They're just trying different things out. 360 video. There's new technology.
Dude, there's going to be virtual reality where you're going to be able to like be Nick Diaz as he fights against Conor McGregor. You're going to be able to look through each fighter's eyes. They're going to figure out a way to do it. Can you imagine? Just a little chip. You just need it. What chip you got, Jamie? I got the S18. Oh, man, you should have waited for the 19. I know, but I'm pretty happy with the 18. I mean, it doesn't take as much battery life. I got 360-degree capability. It's just low resolution. It's good. We're good.